Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to MK Community Brokerage. My name is Mohammed. In this video, I'm going to go over part 2 of how to become an assistant teacher and following the rules and regulation in the city of New York. Now, last I was going over certain rules of how to become an assistant teacher or paraprofessional, what are the rules, regulation, what you need and what you don't need. So I was going over that. I'm just going to go over a little bit more in this video. Hopefully I'll have one more video and that will be the end of part 3 parts of it. So with all of you, let's get started. So special education, as you know, assistant teacher, you're going to be dealing with special needs students. So you'll be in most likely as a special needs or special education services centers. So you'll be your rules are basically you're going to be in an education classroom. Maybe sometimes some classrooms we're going to have maybe half and half, so some special needs, some not, or maybe you might have the classroom all special needs students, depending on what school, what district you go to. You might be assigned from one student to a group of students, or maybe to specific students from each different classroom. It all depends on what school you go to. You'll be given resources from the students, for example, the IEP plan, the how to deal with the students, what type of special needs the students need. So you'll be basically doing that part, and you'll be with a special education teacher, spending time with them as well, with multiple general education teacher as well. Maybe sometimes it might be mixed, sometimes it will be different. It all depends, like I said before, it all depends on which school you go to. Every school is different. The diversity may be some challenging for certain people. I mean, you might go to a classroom where some students are all autistic. You might go to a classroom where students that might have a behavior intervention plan, or they have a behavior problems. It all depends on what type of school you go to. Every school is different. Not every school is the same. You just learning about key terms in special education. There are some key terms you need to know. For example, assistive technology, individualized education plan, IEP team, behavior intervention plan, curriculum-based assessment, inclusions. This is all key terms that I would recommend read on your own. Learn about them because you'll be using them a lot. Least reflective environment, Public Law 94-142. This is the Individual with Disability Education Act, which entitles all students with disabilities between age 3 and 21 to a free appropriate education. So basically learning about these rules, laws, and sections, it does help you from it. For example, Section 504, the Section of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, forbids discrimination against people based on their disability. So keep that in mind. You need to know characteristics of disabilities and appropriate strategies. So every student has their own disabilities. For example, autism, what it is a variable development disorder that is characterized by impairment of the ability to form normal social relationship, by impairment of the ability to communicate with the others, and by stereotyped behavior problems or patterns. Autism can affect language, measure intelligence, rate of development, response to people, event, and objects. So autism is also one of the students that might need a paraprofessional. They might be excellent in one thing and not be good in good in the others. I've actually seen some students that have autism. They were excellent in ELA. They were so good that the teachers already knew that this person was going to get a higher grade. But they were so bad in math that they couldn't comprehend math. So autism students can be those of too. There's always like severe to less severe to moderate. Autism also have the level. So always consult the teacher, the special education teacher, if you need to know further development about that specific students that you're going to be taking care of. Blindness or low vision. Students are legally blind if they can see with glasses at 20 feet with other people, see at 200 feet. Because of the severity impaired of non-existent vision, they need assistance in understanding their place in space and may read using the Braille language. Students with low vision may use computers or books with large prints. So keep this in mind when you're working with students that are blind or visually impaired. Just ask the teacher what strategy do I need to use in order to help the students much better. Therefore, hearing impaired, you'll also see these students in the classroom. Keep this in mind that these students have severe loss of their hearing and they can't speak, and they might have a speaking language disorder. And maybe they might be using hearing aids. So keep this in mind. Just ask the teacher what the students need help with, so I can help them out. Emotionally disorders. Students with an emotional disorder may display a range of behavioral different those expected in the classroom. Their behavior may include aggression, violence, verbal threats, destruction of property, seeking attention, inappropriately tantrum, hyperactivity, compulsiveness, impulsiveness, Inability or withdrawn. So emotional disorder students are usually have a behavior intervention plan, BIB plan. So keep this in mind, though those students have a behavior problem. If a student tries to entice you or make you angry with anyone that have BIB plan, just make them an exception, because these students are in a special program where they're getting treated and everything, whatever needs to be helped with. Learning disabilities. Some students have general learning disabilities that affect information processing and input of languages, perception and letters, numbers and symbols, and memory. So they also have certain paraprofessionals that's assigned to them. Development disabilities are known as cognitive impairment or intellectual disabilities, intellectual characteristic and adaptive behavior. So these students also need paraprofessionals. So these are some of the things that you need to know. I'm just gonna try to go over certain things because it's a lot of things to go over. Multiple disabilities, someone more than one disability, orthopedic impairment, physical and neurological ability to fall into this category. This includes palsy, spinal bifida, muscular dystrophy. These are students that have orthopedic impairment. For example, cerebral palsy is one of the things that experience physical and neurological problems. Spinal bifida is experience of birth defective damage to the spinal cord. Muscular dystrophy is the progressive deterioration of muscles connected to the skeleton, and there's other health impairments as well that you keep this in mind as assistant teacher. Attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADHD. For those of you that are going to be taking training with the classes with edtrainingcenter.gov or .com, I should say, you'll find more information about the ADHD and other impairments. They will help you out as well. ADHD is actually a condition that affects the area of the brain and that helps students control impulses, concrete, and organization. Students have shown that it can be treated with medicine, therapy, and other sport. Speech or language impairment as well. That's one of the key terms you need to know what it is and how to use it. Traumatic brain injury. Obviously, this is severe head injuries. Diapering and toileting. As a paraprofessional, you might be also be issued to a wide range of disabilities. Because of that, you have to be physical and cognitive oriented. For these students, you might use diapering and toileting for these students. Maybe for health reason or physical cognitive reason, you might be assigned to basically how to change diapers, what to do. Because of those physical impairment, they're not able to do it. As assistant teacher, you have the ability to do that. Just keep this in mind. Just ask permission from the students' teachers, just in case whatever they say, and don't go in alone. Always have another teachers with you in the place that have witnesses just in case. Guidelines. Guidelines can be, for example, inspect the design to changing and make sure all is necessary. Bring the student to the changing area. Prepare the surface area where the student will be changed by wiping with the sanitization. This is for diapering and toiletry guideline. Dispose of solid gloves. Follow these guidelines. It should help you out. The changing of gloves and cleaning the surface is necessary to avoid cross-contamination or infected contagious materials. Facilities, toileting, learning to use the bathroom. Be patient, consistent with positive praise to help children become successful with special needs. Toileting routines at home and school should be as similar as possible. Don't make it different. All children should be taught how to correctly wash their hands after using the bathroom. Some of these things you will rather follow, and it will help you out in the long run. Again, with guidelines over here, follow these guidelines. Cleaning up after toileting accidents. These are also the guidelines that as a teacher, as an assistant teacher, you should follow them as well. That may help you out in the long run. Beginning of the school day. Well, what you're supposed to expect from you. It's better to meet some of the things. Meet the teacher. Review the assignment for the day. What they expect from you. Familiarize yourself with the name of the children. The school. Obviously, if you're going to be there more than once or twice, maybe even long term, it's helpful to know the student's name. Ask the teacher if they can familiarize yourself with the physical layout of the school. You need to know about the school's layout just in case there is a fire drill or active shootout drills that you need to know what to expect from you. Introduce yourself to the other teaching assistants. It will help you out in the long run if you have other teaching assistants to get their wisdom and knowledge that can help you out. Important questions for substitute teaching assistants. What are the special needs of the students? Always know what the type of special needs students have. What are the procedures for the school dismissal or fire drills? Like I stated, are there any unique classroom or school-wide practices to be followed? Are there any special events scheduled for the day? What type of services, example, speech, physical therapy, social work, counseling, does the child or the provider have? So this will help you out as well to know all these routines. Instructional expectations of the substitute teaching assistants. One-on-one or small group instructions outlined by the teacher. That might be one of your responsibilities when you're taking care of the students. Teaching daily living skills such as independent feeding and dressing. You might be teaching students under the direction of the teacher in the following areas. Maybe motor, vocational, socialization, and communication skills. Collecting documentation, student behavior for instruction purposes. And obviously there's other rules you could follow as well. Other classroom issues, completing administration tasks. You may be required at times to assist with attendance or other classroom records such as daily attendance forms, subject attendance scan sheet, Delany cards. Just make sure you follow the teaching instruction carefully. Always follow the classroom teacher's guideline to follow what to expect from you. It will help you out in the long run. The last page I'm going to go over is what to say and how to say it. Just speak in a quiet voice. These are some of the says and don't says. Always be firm, and brief, firm, and positive with the students. It will help you out. Use both hands when you climb down the ladder. This is something you have to say. Like, don't shout, don't fall if you don't watch out. You'll fall if you don't watch out. Don't jump. Some of the things to see, don't say that, because whenever, especially student thinks don't, they think you're gonna do it because they don't recognize the first word, but they'll recognize the second word. So use these some says word that will help you out. Speak in a calm, kind voice. Keep your voice and facial expression pleasant. Try to express your request in a positive way. Don't make fun of the students. Don't give students a choice if they cannot have one, and compare one student with another. That will help you out in the long run as well. Other than that, thank you again, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other questions, comment, concern, please comment, like, subscribe. And if you have any questions about assistant teacher, how to become in New York City, I'm here to help you guys out as much as possible. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you had a pleasant experience.